Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome to another hopefully very chilled out live stream on a Thursday evening. I do apologise that it didn't go ahead yesterday. Unfortunately, my day job is a tad busy this week, what with one thing and another, and it ran over. So unfortunately, I had to cancel that. But we're here tonight, and it's great to have you along. Hello to Welshie Sparky, Ben and Aidan in the chat. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming along. No problem, Sparky. Totally understand, mate. It's good to see you anyway. And are you on the night shift tonight? I Some people love night shifts. Duxford, the squadron dog over there, he loves a night shift. But not everyone is into the old shift work. But anyway, yeah, I've done some night shifts in the past, and in a funny sort of way, I actually quite enjoyed them. So we got backup Chinook over there. Good to see. I would hazard a guess that is Aidan. It's always good to have a backup Chinook along. Hans, good to see you, my friend. Hope everything is good with you. Right, so what are we doing? So you probably saw from the outside we are in Golf Echo Hotel Mike Sierra. Or are we? Hang on a second. I think we are. Yeah, we're in Golf Echo Hotel Echo Mike, actually. I'm just reading something over here because this helicopter is in real life it's an MD 902 and I believe it's based at North Weald, but sorry, Earlscone. But we are here in North Weald. This is Burning Blue Design North Weald. It's a lovely airfield, and I thought quite a good base for where we're going to be because we can potentially end up going into London and all that sort of thing. It's a bit of a change from the mountains, but I thought, why not? Let's do something. Let's do something urban. James, hello, good to see you, mate. So, just by way of a quick introduction, I know a lot of you kind of know the setup here, but just in case, this is the High Performance Group H145 with the Action Pack add-on, and I'm using the HEMS version. And HEMS is all about delivering critical care to the patient in situ. So effectively, you're, as much as you can, you're taking the expertise of the hospital to the patient in the field. And having specialist equipment and also personnel on board, and that's kind of what we are doing here. So that's that part of it. But what we're going to be using, if I go into the map submissions, and let me just lock off the head tracking there. If we go into map submissions, we are going to be using something absolutely magical called Random and Anywhere. This is free. It's available on flightsim.to. It's by davierosoft. It's an absolute work of art. I'm going to use, for the record, using version 0.99551. And it really is, I'm going to put something in the chat in a second. It really is wonderful. So what we're doing at the moment is it's just, there's certain steps that you have to do. It tries to be as realistic as possible as you go. So we've started the mission center off. I'm just going to take the head tracking back on now. There's a couple of new things. If you've seen this before, we've now got a Wi-Fi connection, so potentially we can link to the operation center without having to start up bits and pieces on the helicopter. But what I will quickly do is let's get the battery on and get the radio on, and we'll get that chuntering away. So down here comes the crew. Obviously, we have a few level issues at first. So, but anyway, here they are. Where's Frank? Frank's over there. He's getting the GPU sorted out. Oi, Duxford.
Hey, good morning, all. Ready for the mission?
Don't get in the way, Duxford.
Hey, Frank.
Good morning, Frank.
See
Hi,
that?
Captain. Helicopter is ready to fly. Logbook filled and signed.
Everyone is so cheery.
Refueling
It's
has not
absolutely
been
lovely.
performed And fuel level is low. If you need refueling, please ask.
I'm just going to change the distance
Thank
a
you,
little
Frank.
bit
I'll check.
so that we're not going too far. It's incredibly immersive, and this is all part of
Ready to supply external power at your request.
this bit that you're listening to now is all part of this mod. There's a couple of other things I'm using as well, which I'll tell you about in a second. So let's connect down here. Right. In here, we've got all sorts of other settings. So we're just going to take it as it comes. We're going to take the random missions that we get. But you've got all these settings here. And at some point, I am going to do a video, probably once 2024 comes out and we see how this interacts with that, to go through all these different features. But you can customize so much. But we're just going to take it as it comes. The only thing I've changed is the distance, the maximum distance for the mission, so that we have a little bit more action and less, less me just flying from A to B. Okay, so we've got a mission come up. What have we got? You can also either take all types of emergency, or you can hone it down to certain types of emergency that you want to work with. So, injured have been reported after high voltage power transformer explosion. So we're going to accept that.
Preparation. Please wait.
And now the guys in the back are sorting that out. So what that's doing now is simulating the crew. All right, chaps, getting everything ready in the back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the engines pumping. So we'll start with, I think last time I started engine 1 first. So we'll go to...
Preparing for engine. Starting sequence 2-1.
There we go. And that's the co-pilot jumping out. There he is. And this thing now, all the talky stuff, this script that's running the mission, this is all part of this free mod. It's just unbelievable. So we keep an eye on him.
Area clear. Ready to start engine 2.
Okay, let's just get some lights on. Put the strobes on as well. We have got a little MSFS person here, but that's all right. It looks like they're on the phone. Right, engines to idle, or engine 2 to idle, I should say. Keep an eye on everything.
GPU disconnected. Ready to go.
Cheers, Frank.
Good day.
Thank you. Good lad, Frank. Always there when you need him with a hot cup of tea and a GPU. Should really get rid of Duxford, shouldn't I? Of course, using parallel 42 camp out for that. There's Duxford gone.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other engine. Engine clear.
So engine 1. No, I didn't know that, James. Hadn't heard that. RF, I just saw you when I was coming to land in the N-Bath H145. I wondered if there was many... Ah, great. Fantastic. Pilot Bets 24. Good to have you along.
Engine started successfully.
Oh, there was another group flight. North Weald is obviously very popular for group flights at the moment. Hey, Centurion, hope you're okay.
Hold on.
Right, sorry, lost. So he is doing that in the back. So now the co-pilot's walking around doing leak checks. So what we can do now is get everything else up and running. So we'll have the transfer pumps on, prime pumps off, avionics, standby battery, DC for the chaps in the back, LAVCS to pilot. We'll have pitot on, and we can leave everything else. We don't need lighting. We'll just pop a bit of heat on using live weather, obviously not live time.
Okay, all good.
Thank you, my friend. So he's done his bit. Now this is the TDS GTN XI 750. We're not going to be using it today on the HEMS stuff because the mission is running off the bits and bobs here.
TARS system test okay.
So let's just move a few things around. That's there. That's all good. Right. So now I oh god, there's so much to talk about, but I want to try and crack on with the mission, especially seeing as they're waiting for us to come and rescue them, so we can talk a bit about that in the air. But the accident location distance is 7.3 nautical miles, which is great. So that's not long at all. And we've got our line there, and we've got cabin ready for takeoff. If we have a quick look here, of course, we should be running and taking off, and running and having a look at them. But so we've got at least one injured, waiting for information. Injured have been reported after high voltage power transformer explosion. Waiting info about rescue vehicles presence. Symptoms: fear of death. Well, I'm not being funny, but if you just stuck your digits into a power transformer and it had blown up, you'd probably have a fear of death as well. So I'll talk a little bit more once we get in the air. So we get engines to flight. Let's get the systems online. Quick look down here again. That's okay. Quick look at the engine instruments as we power up. That's all good. That's all good. Happy with that. Absolutely fine. Right, so let's go. I'm just going to set my head tracking there and just cycle through that. Doesn't seem to be picking it up. Something I am going to try just as a precaution. Sometimes if you've got the... There we go. Let's just do that. There we go. So that's now sorted itself. Sometimes if you just click home on the GTN, it rejigs, it reloads the route in the logic, and just make sure that everything's set up so you can see now we've got the route on the display here. Okay, I need to start waffling. We need to start flying. So let's hold on. Trim release. Let's have a look at winds. So winds are behind us. Checking that we're clear. Duxford's gone. He's a good lad, Duxford. Duxford, of course, joins us normally in the oil backup Chinooks there. Oh, we've got the llama as well. I'm getting distracted by helicopters instead of getting up, so focus for a moment. Just come over this way a little bit. Try not to bother the police down there. So we're just making sure that we're heading into wind.
VTOS.
That's all good. Getting our transition from the lift. Say hello to the ambulance chappies.
VY.
Now, this is interesting. This is interesting. This kind of stuff only happens on live streams. There we go. For 1 minute there, I thought I had the tablet pointing one way and me point and the FMS there pointing another way, but no, it was just I needed to get it set up correctly onto flight following, I should say. Right, so I've banged it onto autopilot, which is the technical term for it, of course. First thing they teach you in flying training is how to bang something on. Right, I promise you I'll catch up with the chat once we've landed and the paramedics are doing their bit, because it simulates the time that all takes. Then I will catch up with the chat. I actually updated Rex Accuseasons, injected the new preset, not preset, it kind of does it, doesn't it? If you what's it called, automatic. I turned on automatic updating again, so we're looking quite autumnal, whereas yesterday when I was flying it was quite green. Oh, there's the llama. The llama is a work of art. It really is. I've got to say, the llama and the Huey and this H145 are my current favourites. Right, let's.
Ambulance with no paramedic. Fire engine. Confirmed on scene.
Okay, so we've got an ambulance with no paramedic. Hence, we've got the boys in the back, and we've got a fire engine on scene as well. So it'll be interesting to see what we actually see. Now I'm going to very quickly pop something in the chat. Hang on, let me just lock off that so you're not getting seasick with my head moving around. If you are interested, and if this works, see if it comes up. Should do. There we go. So that's Andrea's Discord for this. It's not for the helicopter, it's not for the action pack, it's for his Random and Anywhere mod that we're using here. So you can get the latest kind of test versions and all that sort of thing. There's a whole load of information on there, some very, very clever people. And it's if you're into this, if you're using it, or if you're thinking of using it, it's worth popping along. There's good old London. I should really focus on what I'm doing here. I'm getting too... This is what happens when you use autopilot. You start getting carried away, thinking that you're going off on your holes to Ayia Napa or something, rather than saving lives. Flying quite slowly as well, I should say.
I set a possible hospital destination for our patient. Info available on tablet.
Okay.
Confirm or change later.
I'd be interested to see what hospital he has given us. We'll have a look when it loads in. It gave me... I did a test run the other day with a different build in the same area, and the hospital he gave me, it had put a building on top of the helipad, and I thought... I didn't realise until I landed. I thought maybe it was being clever. Right, I'm just going to take it off autopilot. Okay, I have control, and I'm using trim release now so that I can manoeuvre without fighting the automatic system. So you can just see that orange smoke ahead. That's the you can turn all that stuff off if you want, but that's basically a flare to show you where you're going. And this is going to be interesting because already I can see it's very built up. So we've got pylons, we've got buildings. It's well, of course we've got pylons. It's a bleeding transformer that the fella's stuck his finger in, isn't it? I'm probably being very rude there, you know, assuming that he stuck his finger in. Of course he probably hasn't.
Too low terrain.
We shouldn't
Too low terrain.
okay, you are going to do my head in. Let's turn
Too
you
low
off.
terrain.
You know, it could have been something completely different. So just having a look. Where's the wind? There's the wind. So we've got a car park there. We've got wires on this side, a car park on that side. Oh, it looks like a depot of some sort. There's no 3D objects there, so we'll just we'll come down and let's just keep an eye on things. We'll come down and we'll put it there in that gap. Now you can see on the iPad there we've got begin hoisting. This helicopter doesn't have a hoist. This livery doesn't have a hoist because the real thing doesn't, but if we were back in the RAF helicopter that I normally fly, we'd have a hoist, and we'd just for fun, I nearly said something else, we could hoist them up if we wanted to. Let's get rid of that. Let's focus.
So
See a chap down there.
We're reasonably close.
I know we're reasonably close. Watch the wind. The wind's actually on the nose, but it felt for a moment then like we were being carried. Just looking for somewhere that's relatively realistic for us to land, but I think I'm just going to have to put it down on these bits and bobs here. I don't think the crew would be too happy if I sent them swimming across the lake there. I really should shut up and concentrate on flying. There we go. Okay, so engines to idle. Let's pop the panel out again.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operation.
Oh, come back. There we go.
Helicopter in position. Rear crew, clear to start operation.
There we go. That's the lads jumping out. So we'll have that. We'll have avionics off. Actually, no. Do you know what? I say this every time.
Time for ground operations. Please stand by.
Will do. What I don't want to do is turn the avionics off, because if I potentially break that connection, then we'll lose the mission. And I know in real life you'd probably just turn everything off, but we don't need to worry about that. We've got very good battery chargers back at base, so I'm going to leave those. Pumps are off. We'll take the strobe off. We haven't got the engine running. Okay, so that's all good. So they have gone. Let's jump out. Oh, you can hear him. Here we go. There's Milado. He's in. Oh, there's two of them. Maybe that the other fellow's just in sympathy. He's just looking like. Why did they do it? Why did they put their bacon butty on top of that transformer? So there we go. That's what's happening there. I'm just having a quick look around to see if there's anything else. I can't see the ambulance or the fire engine, but we've got a service vehicle there. Sometimes mission assets get stuck in buildings, and I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah, it could be that the ambulance and the fire engine are stuck in a building somewhere. We didn't get any error messages saying that anything was missing, so I think they're probably just in there somewhere. One of the perils of being in a built-up area when you're doing your HEMS stuff. Right, let's catch up on the chat. Welshie, you're absolutely right. Burning Blue makes some lovely airfields. They're and what's really nice is that people often comment on the videos that I make saying, I learned to fly there, or I know that place really well, or I fly there every weekend, and it feels very realistic to them. And it's always nice when you're flying in the sim to know that this place is nice and realistic and has the feel to it. Left Messiah, this is my first time watching a live stream and I'm happy to be here. Thank you. It's great to have you here. Love your videos on the H145. You're considering buying one. I wanted to know, do you think this is the best heli for what? I've got to be honest with you, without boring everyone, it was this helicopter that got me into flying helicopters in the sim, purely because it had a purpose. I bought the H145 to start off with, and I had great fun with it, and I think I made a couple of videos, and then I was very lucky that High Performance Group approached me and gave me a copy of the action pack to do a review on and to talk about in videos. And that just completely transformed it for me, because it gave me a reason to fly, gave me a purpose to fly. You can, with their mission builder, you can build missions and all that kind of thing. And then from that, I got into other helicopters like the Cowan Sim 500E, which is another one that I like. So yeah, now I must admit I'm a bit of a helicopter fan. But this is the one I couldn't do without, because of the action pack and because of doing this sort of thing. I'd struggle. I think yeah. For me, different people like different things. The llama is. I don't like glass cockpit in fixed wing. I would far rather have steam gauge and do it old school, but in this helicopter it all seems to work quite well. The llama is very much a kind of a steam gauge seat of the pants helicopter with none of these fancy systems we've got here, and I love it for that as well. It's great flying around mountains. Clifford designed scenery, if you've seen that. I've done a couple of videos on the channel. It's wonderful for that kind of scenery as well. It's a nice, small, capable helicopter with lots of character, which is wonderful. Mazinski, hello. There we go. Mazinski has turned up in a llama. That must be the llama that I saw. That's head tracking back on. There it is. You can just see it. There it is, just through there. What are you looking at? You may recognise the crew. These are, of course, the crew from our 84 Squadron RAF helicopter. But we've borrowed these uniforms and we've nicked the helicopter. But we're going to do our best anyway. Welshie, I purchased the H145, but really struggled to fly it. I don't. I've not done any tutorials. I just kind of fly it. I'm just thinking I know there are some good tutorials out there, but which particular parts are you finding challenging? I mean, one thing that I would say, and it took me. I think it was probably the video. Well, it was the video that I did for the helicopter, the HPG helicopter training centre. Okay, so now we've got the. There we go. I'm going to accept that. So that's the hospital. That's connecting the hospital loading in, so that we have that. At this stage, if you wanted to, you could change your destination hospital if you want to go somewhere else. But we're going to take it as it comes. Here's the chap coming back. You won't stick your finger in a transformer again, will you, sunshine? Yeah, I need to start getting my head in it in a second, because we'll have to start doing pilot things. Yeah, sorry, Welshie, I was going to say, and it was actually Mick, the guy who did the Duxford scenery, who's a keen helicopter pilot as well. He pointed out to me that when you're doing lots of manoeuvring,
Take care.
taking off, landing, all that kind of stuff, you really want to be using trim release, because otherwise you're fighting the helicopter, and it's not easy. Right, bear with me.
Cabin secure. Ready to fly.
Okay, so we're going to go 1,
Preparing for engine. Starting
2.
sequence 1, 2.
Come on then, fella. Out you get. Sometimes what happens in this, it's so clever, it simulates lots of different situations. For example, it could be that if there was a
Area clear. Ready to start engine 1.
if there was a hospital nearby, it could be that our doctor or our senior paramedic would have gone in the ambulance direct to the hospital. And then we might have to fly to the hospital just to pick them up, because they're on the ambulance, giving that critical care on the way. So there's different scenarios. You never quite know what you're going to get. Just watching those engine instruments. That's all good.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other engine. Engine clear.
So let's go for engine 2. Leppy, yes. Yeah, I don't use any of the MSFS assists. It's not worth it. It's better to, with any of, whether it's fixed wing or helicopters, I honestly think it's better just to
All engines started successfully.
go for maximum hard and learn how to fly it properly, rather than have assists and then, you
Hold
know.
on. Performing leak checks.
Alright, Sunshine, I know you are. You crack on and do that and we'll get everything else going. So, transfer pumps on, prime pumps off. We'll put the DC back on, LAVCS back to pilot. We'll have pitot heat on. And the lights are all on. And there's nobody home. I'll say it before someone else does. And everything else is looking good there. Quick look down here. Engines are in idle, that's fine. Air conditioning is on, that's fine. The startup test is okay, which is all good. Everything's
Okay,
looking
all
good
good.
here. Let's put the engines to flight. Pop the guards on. And yeah, I'd be interested to see. Yeah, we're going to a different hospital. Be interested to see what this one looks like. You never, because you're relying on the baked-in scenery, you never quite know what you're going to get when you land. So sometimes you're lucky and you get a nice baked-in hospital helipad. Sometimes you get a building. Right, let's just take off and then I'll catch up on the chat again. Bear with. Where's the wind again? Right, the wind's on the nose, which is rather handy. And hazards, we've got buildings, trees, and wires. Just going to keep the climb on. Hop over the wires. Nose into wind.
VTOS.
And then we
V1.
can whip it around and get on course. So you see the override in the on the display there. That's because I'm holding in I've got a Warthog joystick and the pinky switch on there. I've got locked to trim release, so I can hold that on and it gives me control. I'm not fighting the autopilot. If I release it, now that's all trimmed out. That's the automatic trim. So let's whack it onto autopilot. And then what I'm also going to do is we'll couple it to the route, what we've got on our tablet. Right, let's have a quick look. Woody, hi, first time here too, love the vid. Thank you, sir. Burning Blue, great. I've been a FISO. Ah, fantastic. Ah, cool. Yeah, Fair Oaks is a nice one, isn't it? I need to get back there. I've flown from there once in real life many years ago. But it's a lovely, I really like the Burning Blue one as well. I used to have the Orbex one in P3D, but it was so close to London that the FPS was always pretty awful. But I love the Burning Blue one. But no, it's interesting that you're a FISO. Leppy, I've got Track R as well, so I'm going to give it a go and buy the aircraft. Are you aware of any discount codes? I'm not. I don't think they've got anything on at the moment, but yeah, certainly with Track IR, it's absolutely fantastic. Oh, that's interesting. So it's ignored the route. So I'm going to try. Let's just check. It's got that set in there. It's ignoring that. We've got nav set up in there. Let's give that another jog. See what it does. Hopefully that hasn't broken it. In fact, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Let's take it off that. And I'm just going to starting to get an FPS hit now as we get close to the smoke, as it's loading in bits and bobs. Yeah, Track IR is just absolutely fantastic for this sort of thing. I did try Toby recently, but just with the head tracking side of it, but it just didn't do anything like as good as this old-fashioned having something attached to the side of your head routine, which works a lot better for me. It's a lot more precise anyway. Cheers, Sparky. Thanks for joining, mate. Have a wonderful shift. I hope it all goes quickly for you. Sparky, if you don't know, is a streamer, Twitch and YouTube, so check him out. He's a good chap. Just having a little look at seeing what the autopilot's doing there. Essex emergency spotter. Do you know what? Thank you. I meant to be, but I didn't load it up. Let's see if I can do this without breaking everything. Bear with me. Let's have a look. I am now, and hopefully must admit I don't really use Volanta, but yeah, on it now. Right, close that. Let's have a quick look. Just check everything is working still. That's good. And I've lost the chat, so let me bring that up. There we go. There we go. Right, so we're coming over London now. Definitely getting a hit on the FPS now. There's more things loading, but it's not too bad. Yeah, it's not the cheapest, but it's I think it. I mean, it's easy for me to say because obviously I didn't pay for the HEMS expansion, but I paid for the base pack, and yeah, for me it was worth it. I think it, obviously it is a personal choice, but I think for me it's absolutely worth it. The ability to run the missions, because of course you've got the HEMS, you've got the firefighting as well. You've got the offshore, you've got the cargo, so there's other things that you can do as well, but then to be able to use this random and anywhere as well, it's almost like its own simulation. I actually find that flying the Warbirds, it's almost like a different simulation to what I'm doing with this. It's quite handy actually to get to the hospital. We're going to see some sights. So on your left here we have the Millennium Wheel, although it's probably called something else now. We've got the old Houses of Parliament down there, Westminster Abbey, and right, there we go, Buckingham Palace. Interesting. I don't normally find my FPS getting hammered so much, but today it certainly is, and I'm trying to think. I think I might have tweaked my settings up a little for flying in the mountains, but hopefully it's not too bad for you watching. Luckily my internet connection is fast enough to at least load in the scenery at a reasonable rate. I'm not using any auto FPS tool, no. Okay. Yeah, concentrate on where I'm going. It's not normally as low as this. It's interesting. I don't know what there's. Hello, backup Chinook there. I know on some streams recently that it sometimes it could be the multiplayer or something like that. It can go through a phase where the FPS drops a little bit. It could be because I'm streaming and also it's loading in a ton of scenery, although my internet connection is pretty quick. It seems to have calmed down a bit now, so I think it was just when we were coming in over the centre there. But yeah, That was it was a tad jittery. Romeo Kilo. Do you know what? Thank you for a start. I always feel the same if I'm ever watching someone streaming. I remember when my previous computer broke down for about 2 weeks, and I was watching people streaming, and it was it was almost painful. I just wanted to fly. Right, let's see. So I'm going to take it off autopilot. Now, what's going to be tricky here is with this FPS. Of course, with helicopters, you need nice, smooth FPS to be able to do nice, smooth landings and all that sort of thing. But with awful FPS, it can be a bit handy. But I think it's smoothed out a bit. I wonder if it's since I put Volanta on. I never fly with Volanta really, so I don't know if maybe that has an effect. Does Volanta have an effect on FPS? Don't know why it would, but right. Let's see.
Destination in sight. Medical
What?
crew is ready on landing spot.
Let's see what we've got. So we are coming in hot. Let's. Oh wow, we've got. Oh, look at that. Now this is going to be interesting. We actually have a helipad on the roof, but will it work? Is that just baked in?
500.
Is that just baked in scenery, and when we actually try and land on it, we're going to go through the roof, literally? So we'll find out. Keeping in mind where the wind is. Yeah, this FPS is horrible. This is why I like to fly in the mountains rather than in the city. So there's our helipad. Wind is behind us, so I'm going to come back down here, and then we'll do an approach from that direction. Quick look at the engine instruments, everything's okay. Let's close the tablet. Oh, come on, FPS. Come on! I mean, it's pretty incredible when you think about it. Look at those little houses. I know I should be focusing on flying, but that's pretty damn amazing. Okay, so let's run an approach at this landing pad and see what it does. Backup Chinook is ready, just in case we need airlifting. Ooh, just had a bit of a gust there, that's interesting. Yeah, I've got a feeling we're just going to sink right through this. That doesn't look very stable to me. That looks like wobbly, wobbly, yeah, wobbly, what's it called? Shut up, concentrate on flying. Yeah, okay, well, wish us luck. I can see Backup Chinook there has managed to land on the building, so that fills me with some hope. Just inching.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operation.
Let's just get in the ring and see what happens. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh! Wow! It's solid. It's solid. This will be interesting. Let's jump outside. Oh, hello. We've got Airwolf is here as well. Well, pretty crap in terms of getting it centre on the landing pad. Bad job there. I got so focused on whether this was going to plop us down somewhere. Ah, that's interesting as well. I've just noticed our hoist has appeared, and it wasn't there to start off with, so something has obviously triggered the hoist to appear. So what happens normally, if that was a landing pad on the ground, we'd have emergency crew from the hospital, but they're probably stuck in that building somewhere. So it'd be interesting to see how the, you know, how it actually copes with it. Okay, so they're unloading. Let me just lock that off. There we go. Hey, right. Donald, hello. Good to have you here. Thank you, Romeo Keeler. That's a very kind thing to say. Yeah, I don't do a lot in the way of reviews, and reviews is the way to really build a channel, just in case anyone's interested in building a channel. I don't do much in the way of reviews. It's more of just me flying stuff and doing things like this. So, but it's always wonderful to have people come back and to watch more. It's always good to have people along. Okay, see, the auto FPS tool would fix this for you. So Leopard, what does that mean? Does that mean that it would be adjusting the scenery, so it would be taking the scenery down a level to maintain the FPS? Because normally my FPS doesn't drop that bad, it makes me wonder if it's something else. That's the only thing I'm thinking. Do you know, I was so busy then looking at the chat. Did he just... Okay, patient unloading completed. That's fine. So what's going to happen now is the crew, as would happen in real life, they've unloaded the patient, they've given it to the hospital crew, and what's happening now is that it's the H160. I wish there was an action pack for the H160. The crew are now, it looks like they're going to jump into the, they've gone to the backup Chinook to see if there are any snacks. But now they're going to abseil down the side of the building. And I think we might have lost them. Oh no, there he is. What they're now going to do is to go in and do the paperwork as they would do in real life. They'd go in with the patient, do a proper handover to the medical crew in the hospital, and that's what they're doing. If you're in a hurry and you don't want to faff about doing all that, you have got a skip paperwork button there. But we'll let them go and do the paperwork, and we can have a look at this view across the... do you know what? You can probably tell I'm just chuffed to bits that this landing pad was actually solid. I wasn't expecting that. I thought we'd go straight through it. Cool. Okay, Leper. Okay, I'll have to... I need to do some experiments and see why it suddenly dropped like that. It could be something to do with multiplayer, or I don't know. Normally I can fly helicopters around London without any issue, without FPS dropping. But God, I mean, as anyone knows with these sims, anything can you know, give it a bit of jip. Let's have the engines off. AC off, and we'll turn ventilation off. Whoa, what's happened? Come back. There we go. Apologies while I talk to myself a second. So good. Strobe off at the moment. That's all off. Pitot heat off. Just trying to use as little electrics as possible while they do that. Yeah, I agree, said Jurian. The difficulty is obviously to complete the mission you have to offload the patient. So like I had to do the other day, I literally had to descend through the first block of the building, and then luckily there was a part of the building underneath that was solid, so I kind of landed through the building and then was able to unload the passenger. But passenger, bless him, he's coming back now. Right, lads. Yeah, but that's really good to know that this has actually got a working landing pad on it. So the chap's going to get back on board. Oh, sunshine. Have some bloody decorum. They're going to get back on now, and now we
Cabin
just wait.
secure. Ready to fly.
So we've now got the opportunity to do another mission, which of course we're going to do. But if you wanted to, you could end mission. You could return to home base. If there was another injured person, you would then select to go back for them, but we're not going to do that. So we'll just receive a new dispatch. Let me lock this off so I can click on that. So, what do we got? I think that's the old one. It is the old one. New one. An injured requires medical assistance. Well, that's the game we're in, boys. That's the game we're in. Okay, we've got an error. This not an object. What's this? Hospital distance. Okay, so we might have an issue, but we'll see. I think that's probably got more to do with the fact that the crew are already on board.
Cabin preparation.
And you remember at the beginning you saw the car come in and offload everyone. Well, it can't do that because obviously we're already on board. We're taking the next mission. Right. Let's get into pilot mode. Are you ready, Sunshine? Let's have... God, what was it? It was 2-1, then it was 1-2. So we're going to go back to 2,
Preparing for engine.
1,
Starting sequence 2-1.
strobe on. And that's all good. Yeah, the H160 is another nice one as well. I don't fly it much because it doesn't have the action pack, but it will do at some point.
Area clear. Ready to start engine 2.
Oh, sorry, co-pilot. I think he's abseiled down the building. Never mind. He's got amazing powers of vision. Maybe back up Chinook. Can you go and find the co-pilot, please? I think he's abseiled down the roof. Anyway, we're starting engine 2. Let's focus on what we're doing. Have a look at the instruments. At some point we need to start thinking about fuel. I can see that it's 17 nautical miles to the patient.
Engine started successfully. Moving to other engine.
Up towards St. Albans, so we're going to be getting out of London town and
Engine clear.
heading north. So we start engine. I'm being very rude here and talking over the co-pilot. There we go. Quick look here. At least one injured. An injured requires medical assistance. Fire engine crew is on the way to the accident location. Okay. One of the things I should say about this...
All engines started successfully.
Cool. One of the things I should say about this is Andrea, who's the genius behind all this, is
Hold
constantly...
on. Performing leak checks.
constantly updating it and adding new things, so things don't always necessarily go to plan, but he's always very quick to fixing it, and he's just adding new stuff all the time, which is rather cool. Right, that's all on. That's okay. I'm not using the landing lights for this. Transfer pumps are on. The prime pumps are off. We've got everything here, so that's all good. He's getting back on board. Up on, Sunshine. Come on. There you go. And everything's okay down here.
All good.
Doors closed. That's engines to flight. Over here we've got the medical diagnostic page. So you can go into that and it'll give you more information about the patient. So at the moment the patient's assigned emergency code 5, really, because no one's got to them yet. The patient unknown, because no one's actually got to them to have a good look at them, so we don't know yet, but you've got these different settings. So code 1 is immediate risk of death, code 2 immediate risk of serious injury, code 3 and above no risk to life, but and as I say, at the moment that's 5. You've also got a score here which gives you an idea. 0 meaning they don't need us anymore, which is way past that. 100 meaning why are you wasting my time? There's nothing wrong with you, Sunshine. Get on your bike. This one is assigned 30, so it's not particularly brilliant. Let's get back to the dispatch screen. Oh, something else to quickly tell you. Here you can run through complete checklists as well. It's very clever. Really, really clever stuff. Right, let's get back to what we're doing. So cabin is ready for takeoff. We've got the engines in flight. So that's all good. Let's pop that back on. We'll just get the click spot. That's interesting. Have we got a failure? Have we got a failure? Let's turn on, stop the head tracking, try that again. Every now and again it'll do this. It seems to just chuck a failure at you. So let's get that back. Let's take off head tracking. Let's have a quick look up here. See if we can see anything. Have we got any circuit breakers popped out? Don't think so. Done anything silly? The avionics are all on and that kind of stuff. So let's double check. That's still showing as a failure. So let's come down here and look at failures and maintenance. Quick look there, that's all good, and a quick look here, and we've got autopilot 2 failure. It's failed, so it'll do this. It's chucked a failure at us. Thank you very much. Not today, thank you. So we're going to pretend that we have just had the engineer come on board and sort that out for us, and that is now fixed. And now if we press that, there we go, everything's cool. So again, it's kind of got that sense that it's going to chuck anything at you. You know, it's going to chuck anything at you at any particular time. Right, quick look at the chat. Is there NVSO flight with MGs with the HPG pack? Honest answer, Max, I don't know. I think there is. I seem to remember seeing some time ago that there was some kind of a mod where you could do night vision. It's not something I've gone into, but I believe that there is a way you can do it. If you go onto the HPG Discord, you'd be able to see there. Right, so again you can see override, so I'm holding in trim release. And let us rise up. I don't know if you can see it just there. We've got, that's interesting, we've got a fire engine driving up the road. I don't know if we'll see it. I just saw it on the mission map, but it's driving in the other direction, so it could be an asset from, well no, it wouldn't be an asset from something else.
VTOS.
Just concentrate on flying. And, okay, yeah, so that, okay, I've got to somehow do this. Obviously we wouldn't do this in real life. So, I wonder if we'll be able to see him. It's underneath that custom location, which is in the way, and I want to try and get rid of that, but I'm not sure how. Where's he gone? So it's a mission asset. The fire engine is on its way to the emergency, and he is there. So what I want to do is see if we can see him. He's going to be coming up on the nose. I think he's probably going to be hidden in those. Keep your eyes peeled. And the sim froze up. Stop freezing up, you know, what do you think? Yeah, can't see him. He's hidden down there in the houses somewhere. Right, let's get back on track. Be interested to see if I can get it to follow the GPS again. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So let's put it onto autopilot. There we go, hands off, and let's couple. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. Let's reload the route. Yeah, we're flying the wrong way. Don't quite how that happened. Not very professional. So we'll uncouple that and then pop down here and come on. Get the click spot, put it onto heading mode, and we need to do an about turn. I think because I had the map wound out so far and I wasn't even looking at the compass, I was trying to chase that blooming fire engine. I didn't realise we were going in the wrong direction. Not very good. Not very good service at all. Ooh, frozen up again. There we go, let's get it back. Sorry, backup Chinook, wondering what the hell I'm doing. Where is that idiot going? Which way is he, which direction is he going to choose next? Yes, just looking at the chat. Yeah, the hype Discord's really good. Definitely worth getting in there. Yeah, Romeo Killer, you're absolutely right. No ambulance chasing. Excuse me a moment. Just watching my cup of tea there. Right, so I'm going to try and... I've got it in heading mode at the moment, and we're going to head back to the track that we need to run, and as we get closer to it, it's interesting. As we get closer to it, I'm going to see if it will follow the route as if it was you know, on nav mode rather than heading. That's what I'm trying to say while I'm thinking of different things and waffling. So let's have a look. That's all set up. I'm now going to... Let's see, first of all. So we've got nav mode there. It's coupled there. It's in green. And let's see if it's going to... see what it's going to do. Hopefully it's going to latch onto it. Cool, this is turning into a PowerPoint with the FPS, isn't it? There's definitely something else at play. I'll tell you what I am going to do. I don't think it's Volanta, but I am going to kill Volanta and see if that helps it a little bit. Not a huge amount. It could be various things. I mean, the visibility today is actually quite good, so it's having to draw in a lot of buildings, and I have got insanely high settings on. And it could just be, it could be a combination of the weather, the fact that I'm on multiplayer, that's all adding together to cause a few FPS issues, but yeah, it's not normally as bad as this. Mark. Yeah, I would, all the MSFS flight aids, leave them off. I mean, I think also with the H145 it doesn't work properly if you have those on, so yeah, just leave those all off. You have some settings in the tablet down there that you can adjust as well, but I always think it's best to start off with difficult, realistic settings, and then you can't go wrong, and it's a bit more realistic than using MSFS assists. This is actually quite a good helicopter to start in, actually, because although it's got complicated systems, It's got really good stability control. It's got an autopilot. I never really used to use the autopilot much, but then I used to get criticised for not flying it realistically, i.e. it's a modern helicopter designed for you know, different kinds of work, and the real world pilots of these things will fly them on autopilot because it's there. Right, I'm just watching that, so yeah, it looks like we're just going to fly through. It's kind of ignoring the track there. Yeah, not quite sure why it's not following it. So we'll take it off there. FPS is just absolutely tanking at this point. We are most definitely now in it's eased off a bit. Come back here and put it back in heading mode. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that. I'm not sure why it's not following the track. It did yesterday, and the fix was to, if it did, the fix was to press the home button on the GTM, but that doesn't seem to be doing much. Oh, hang on a minute, hang on a minute, hang on a minute. I know. Let me just check, come back, let me just check something. That's why, you plonker. That's why. So you've got to select MSFS as the navigation source. Now we will couple, and now by miracle the helicopter will follow the flight path. So yes, if you if like me that happens to you, always remember, don't have your GTN as your navigation source. You need MSFS to be your navigation source, and then it will follow the flight plan on there. You probably already knew that. It's just me being daft. Yeah, oh, that's good, Mark. I'm glad you're getting as much out of it as well. I can spend hours doing this sort of thing. In fact, when I do a stream like this, it's knowing when to stop, because sometimes it feels like I could go on forever. But it is such good fun. Oh, thank you, Lappy. Yeah, I actually normally prefer flying in the mountains or out in the country. I don't tend to like to fly over cities, although sometimes it's quite interesting. But it's certainly interesting flying over London. It's so damn realistic, this sim. And now that the FPS has settled a bit, it's easier to enjoy it. But looking out over the skyline, seeing the Shard, BT Tower, although it's probably called something else now, and all that kind of good stuff. And we've got Wembley up ahead. We are flying rather low. Sometimes when I'm doing this sort of thing, someone will come in, usually in the comments on the video on demand, and say, "Oh, you do realise you were flying?" Yeah, I know. I'm flying low. We're just having a bit of fun, and I'm just fascinated by the scenery. That down there, I'm pretty sure, is the A40, and the reason I can say that is because I actually think I recognise those buildings from in real life. It's just amazing. Be interesting to see how what 2024 is like, because that's meant to be even better. And I mean, look at the detail on that industrial estate or retail estate. Crazy. 2,000 hours in the A320. Wow, okay. Yeah, I don't fly the tube liners. I don't have the if I'm honest, and it's my loss, I don't have the patience to set them all up and fly the long routes and all that kind of thing. The closest I get to it is I fly for a VA, but I fly I mean, the King Air is about as big as I get doing kind of regional routes, but it's good to practice that. There's look at that H160, isn't it lovely? There's Wembley. If I can get the head right, there you go. Amazing. Right, quick look at the route. course, yeah, it's flying the route now, isn't it? Because I got that bit right, so that's all good. Yeah, Centurion, Scotland. You are so lucky. I know I'm English, but I did live up. I lived up at Lossiemouth for a while back in the 80s, and absolutely loved Scotland. Still get to Scotland when I can. I was up there in the Cairngorms camping back in August, and I can bore people to death waxing lyrical about how much I love Scotland and the Highlands, but yeah, I love flying up there. I could fly up there all the time, but I actually don't want to bore people, if I'm honest. I think the next time I do a flight like this, it probably will be back up in the Highlands, although I did say we'd go to Cyprus, fly out of Akrotiri, but yeah, Scotland is beautiful. Woody, you inspired me to get back in the warbirds recently after watching the vids, and the 109 is so rewarding when you start to get the hang of it. Oh, thank you. It's really nice to you know, to know that something I've done you've watched and it inspired you to do something, because that's exactly what happens to me. I see something and I think, you know, like I see screenshots of the 109, for example, very good example, and I think, damn it, I should really spend more time in that. And now that I've flown the FW190 and enjoyed that, I keep thinking I need to get back in the 109 and have a look at it. Hang on, Cairngorms, half an hour from your home. Is it half an hour or one to 2 hours? Right, sorry, just noticed our. So I'm just gonna. If you see the little green arrow on the altitude readout there, I'm just gonna give us some height, because I just noticed we are heading towards some high ground, and of course I've got the TORs turned off because we don't want that clanging off all the time. Innisberg, I don't think I've flown there. Half an hour. You're
Ambulance
half.
with no paramedic. Police. Fire engine. Confirmed on scene.
Okay, so there's going to be quite a lot of assets here, so it'll be interesting to see what's there. Right, we don't want to gain too much height, so I'm now going to knock it off autopilot. I've got the trim release on, and I'm going to come back and descend now. One of the real tricks with this, I think I can see the. I can see orange, but I don't know if that's the. If that's our target. You see how? Oh, there it is. I can see it on the nose now. See how the tablet reflects off the canopy. It's just so cool. It's these little things that tickle me. I completely forgot what I was waffling on about. Oh yes. One of the things that I notice that I do a lot when especially when I'm streaming, is that I'm so busy yakking on the way to where we're going that quite often I end up either coming in too fast or too high, or both. So let's drop down a little bit.
I set a possible hospital destination for our patient. Info available on tablet. We can confirm or change later.
Thank you very much. The sound level's alright, by the way. I meant to check that at the start. Hopefully you can hear the game sounds and all that sort of thing. Game? It's a flight simulator. Alright, sorry. Flight simulator. Strathpeffer. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a wonderful part of the country. It's amazing. You know, it was a long time ago.
Miles from accident area.
A long time ago that I lived there. But
500.
I do get very homesick for it, and I've seen it in. You know, sometimes it's easy to go to a place and see it in the best of times, the best of weather. And you don't see it when the weather's really. I'm just getting distracted by that bloody great big red ball that's hanging there. I don't even want to ask what that's about. But having lived up there, you kind of see all sides of it, and it's just beautiful all through the year. The way the landscape changes through the seasons, absolutely gorgeous. And I will never forget lived in a house that didn't have double glazing, and I'll never forget waking up to ice on the inside of the windows.
We are approaching the landing site.
That was quite something. Anyway, let's have the pilot shut up now so we can focus on what we're doing. So I'm going to close the tablet. It's looking quite built up. Where's the wind? The wind's behind us, so we're going to want to do an approach from the other direction, but at least the wind isn't particularly strong. I can see blue lights. I can see ambulance. So I can see a really nice approach right over here. So we're just going to come over the top. I keep meaning to turn the smoke off. I mean, it does make it a lot easier to spot where you're going. But British emergency services do not normally pop orange smoke, but it's great to have it in the sim. And as I say, you can turn it off. Right, I need to shut up and concentrate. Remind me to shut up. So let's come round. The police have all done a wonderful job stopping the traffic. Ah, we got the Huey. There's the Huey. Love the Huey. Stop getting distracted by the Huey. Where's the wind? There's the wind. So we'll come over here and we're going to come down and land at this junction.
We are reasonably close.
Excellent. There we go. We're done. Apologies, Centurion. And engines to idle. Hello, chaps. Look at that. Makes you proud. There's the lovely llama.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operation.
It's great, isn't it? You see what I mean? It's quite small. It's really sprightly, and it's good old-fashioned steam gauge helicopter goodness, and it's got a really nice flight model as well. You feel very connected to it.
Helicopter in position.
It
Rear
feels
crew,
like you've
clear to
strapped
start
it on,
operation.
as it were. Right, let's have a quick look outside. There we go. So yeah, the ambulance crew and the fire engine, they're having a bit of a laugh. They've squeezed in the police car. There's our lads heading off. So the casualty must be in here somewhere. So let me jump in here. Let's lock that there. We'll pop that out. We'll have the engines off. I need to put the head tracking back on. Transfer pumps off. Leave that there. And the same as before, I know in real life they would be turning off all the electrics and turning off the battery, comms via phones or maybe handheld radios, but I don't want to break our connection to the mission here, so I'm going to leave that as it is. That button there, load patient on helo, I have a feeling, and I'm not going to try it, I think what that does is if you don't want to wait, you can press that button and it'll load it on, but I've never tried it. So I'm saying there's so much about this that is customizable. So you can either do realistic timings, which is what we're doing here, or you can speed things along. So we got 37 years male, unconscious, and an injured, requires medical assistance. Ambulance has reached the scene. They're there. Fire crew arrived on location. They're there, and the police are here. They're there. Symptoms: anxiety and chest pain. That's not good. That's not good. medical diagnostic page. Patient John Doe, fictional, of course, 37 years old male, injured person in apartment. Status upon medical arrival unconscious, and patient has been assigned emergency code 1, which is immediate risk of death, which means that we are not going to hang about. Things this is when it gets really interesting. How the hell do I get rid of that custom location that's popped up? By doing that. There we go. Simples. Yes, so the object of the exercise obviously is to get the casualty on board and get them to the hospital as quickly as possible. Their condition changes over time. It's not just a condition that comes about randomly and then that's it. The condition will
Patient life signs are fading.
yeah, the condition of the patient can deteriorate. We might, for example, suddenly get told by the chaps in the back, you've got to land, we need to do CPR. That's happened to me a couple of times, and you literally just have to find somewhere to land so they can do that, stabilise the patient, and then you can take off and go off again. Sorry, having a bit of pilot juice there. Cup of tea, can't beat it. Right, catching up on the chat. Let me just lock that off again. Let me quick look outside. Yeah. Oh, we can have a quick look in the back. There we go. I'll just zoom in. You can see all the gubbins in the back, the machinery, the machines that go ping, and all that kind of stuff. The Snickers bars, the bags of Cheetos, they're all in there somewhere. Right, let me lock that off and let me look at the chat. Centurion, exactly, double glazing. What's that? Who needs that, eh? But yeah, I will never forget that ice on the inside, on the inside of the window. Nothing to quite like it. Hey Guy, hope all is good with you. You come back from the Seeking in the Wessex to a Dreams of Wings stream. That must be a huge come down, my friend. Guy actually works on real helicopters. Just accepting that. So good to see you, my friend. Good to have you here. What hardware do you use for heli flying? I've got a Bravo throttle quadrant that I use for collective. I've got a Warthog A10 grip that's on a 15 mil extension on a Virpil Warbird base, and then I've got Thrustmaster TPR pedals. And have I missed anything out? Yeah, that's what I'm using, and it works well for me. I'd love a proper collective, and one day I'll get a proper collective because that'd be pretty cool.
Patient on board. Take care.
I can tell you using the Bing Maps, yes. Yeah, Leper, I am using the Bing Maps. The reason why I'm not using Google Maps is, sorry, I've just realised what he's just said to us. Let's take it off that. Let me come back to that.
Cabin secured. Ready to fly.
Let me come back to that. Right, they're on. That's good. Let's have the prime pumps. God, what was it before? I think it was 2-1 before, so we'll go 1-2.
Preparing for engine. Starting sequence 1-2.
Yeah, I seem to remember there's an add-on that I've got, and I can't remember what it is, but apparently Google Maps can break it. It might come back to me what it is, but people have reported if you've used Google Maps, it can break it. And if I remember what it is, oh, that H160.
Clear. Ready to start engine 1.
Stunning. Engine 1 starting. Just watching our fuel there. Chinook, good to see you. Hello. Apologies, didn't know so I was parked in the ambulance. Oh, ambulance is that's what happens when you park a Chinook on an ambulance. The ambulance driver is now very concerned indeed, and is driving in circles. Woody, the sun looks amazing. Yes. Does it give the real sense of aviation? Hurry up and wait. Yeah, Woody, that's do you know what? That's a very good way of putting it. It's a very good way of putting
Engine
it.
started successfully. Moving to other engine.
If you run it this way, so you use the realistic timings, there is that real sense of when
Engine clear.
you're sitting waiting, there is that sense of a chance to have a breather, and then all of a sudden it starts again. Very good way of putting it. Very good way of putting it. Hurry up and wait. Love it. Mazinski, good to have you along. Take care. Llama needs a new gearbox. I was trying to keep up.
All engines started successfully.
Good to have you along, mate. It's always good to see the llama. Oh, Aidan, I think you've really upset that. The ambulance driver's not happy.
Performing leak checks.
Okay, he's doing the leak checks. Let's focus. Right, avionics are on. DC is on. So we'll have transfer pumps on. Prime pumps off. LAVCS to pilot. We'll have the pitot heat on, and we'll whack the strobe back on. Should have already done that before when we started winding everything up. Otherwise, everything is tickety-boo there. Happy with that. Quick look down here. That's okay. Engines are in idle. We've got all the autopilot systems are on.
Good.
Okay, he's back in now, so we can put engines onto flight. And look over here. So that's all good. And what we're going to have to be careful of here is the condition of the patient as we fly. Luckily we're pointing into wind, and luckily the hospital is over that away. I wonder if we're going back to the same hospital. No, 4.7 miles. Right, so I need to watch out for backup Chinook and H160. Very expensive on the old insurance if you whack into either of those. It's interesting to see how the weather's changed as well. When we started off it was quite a nice blue sky, but it's gone a wee bit cloudy. So we'll just give the emergency services on the ground a thrill. Come around the H160 and head off this way, and watch out for the
VTOS.
cables. There it is. Just pop over the top of that.
VY.
We're not far now, so I'm not going to put it back onto autopilot. I'm going to keep hand flying it like what I used to, and then we can get there because it isn't far at all. What's it saying? 4 nautical miles is nothing. But what I will quickly do is release, trim, release. So it's just trimmed out now. The helicopter's kind of holding itself in place, but we need to keep an eye on it. And let's have a look. Where are we going? Looks like Edgware. Yeah, on the way to Edgware. Okay. So yeah, as with the other hospital, it'll be interesting to see what we get in the way of landing pads. A lot of the more rural hospitals, you get look at the size of the. So that red ball that I saw before is part of the electric cable. It's, you know, obviously high visibility objects so that pilots don't bang into them. I've got the God, I wish I could remember the name of the
2 nautical miles from hospital.
it's criminal. I should remember the name of the developer. Is it Mamu Designs or Mamu something? I've got the pylons add-on, which is free on flightsim.to, or it certainly used to be. I don't know if it is now. Looking over here. Guy, have you seen the H225 Super? I certainly have. And that's the only reason I'm going to be buying the Premium Super Deluxe, encrusted in diamonds and sprinkled with fairy dust version, because I want that. I want that Super Puma. It looks like it could be good fun. Yeah, shared cockpit. Good point.
Rear crew, we are approaching the landing site.
It would be really cool to do shared crew on HEMS, and you know, someone could even be the winchman and all that kind of thing. Right, I saw that and thought for a moment that might be the hospital, but of course it's not when you look at them. Oh no, I think it is. Okay, I got distracted then by chatting, so as we can see the FPS has dropped down a little bit, so we need to find... What's the wind? Need to find that landing pad. I think it's safe to say this is the last time I do HEMS around London on a stream, because the FPS does not like it. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Play, spot the... Ah, there it is. Okay, I can see it. Just down there. So we do have a landing pad. Just there. Can you see that? That little square. It's not particularly pretty, but hopefully it'll do the job. So let's get into some kind of semblance of an approach configuration. Just watching everything to make sure I don't go into a vortex ring state and all that good stuff. Oh, this FPS is horrible, isn't it? We are definitely heading back to the Highlands for the next one.
500.
There it is. Okay, let's get rid of the tablet. I've got a button on my stick to get rid of the tablet. Aidan, old chap, you wouldn't mind just moving to the left a little bit, would you? Or just backing... Oh, if you landed on that roof. Okay, stop focusing on the Chinook and fly your blooming H145. Okay, let's see what we've got. Okay, so can you see, just in the trees, you see the hospital crew? Got a couple of guys with a gurney. And here's our baked-in landing pad. I have a feeling this is going to be on a slope.
Prepare for ground operation.
Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that might be on a bit of a slope, so just come back in. And I always find there we go. I always find it's deceptive. From the inside, everything seems really close, but from the outside, it's quite a bit bigger. Yeah, so we're a little bit. If I go here, it feels quite close to that edge and quite close to the trees, but then when you jump outside, you've got a lot of distance there. This is where it's quite handy. In real life, of course, you've got crew to call out distances, but if I just turned that way, I could have seen quite easily that I needed to be,
Helicopter in position. Rear crew, clear to start operation.
you know, really need to be further forward. Hey Jinx, hope you're well. Hope your Lynx is coming on nicely. You can buy the premium aircraft separately in 2024. Yeah, I don't, have they published prices on that yet? Someone made the point to me when I was having a bit of an old man grumpy moan about how I didn't want to buy, because I don't really fly default aircraft, they were saying that the cost of the individual aircraft, you might as well buy the pack
Patient
rather
has been
than
deployed to the
buying,
hospital. He is safe.
cherry picking what you wanted separately, but I don't know. I volunteered to be the medic, winchman and co-pilot. That's a very heavy workload there. Very heavy workload, I'm impressed.
Cabin secured. Ready to fly.
Oh wow, that was quick. Okay, so we're not doing any paperwork or anything like that. They've offloaded the passenger. The boys are all in the back, and we're good to go. So I need to open up the. Wonder how far we are. How much fuel have we got? Okay, I was going to end the stream there, but I'm not going to. Let's go back to. I hope this works. Return to the starting point and manually select. I'm going to select a base on the map. God, this is going to be fun. Let's come in here. Let's come in here. There's the ambulance, by the way. You can see that there. Hoddesdon. Trying to do this upside down. Is that? No, that's Stansted. Why is it suddenly looking at this upside down an absolute you know what? Is it that one? Honestly, my geography has suddenly gone absolutely through the roof. I don't mean in a good way. We've got Chelmsford over there, Epping, Harrow. Dude, sort your geography out. Where do we want to go? Excuse me. North Weald is over here. We've got Harlow. So, where was... Stevenage. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at another map just to try and get my bearings. At this point, I'd sing you a song as in the way of kind of holding music, but I don't think you would appreciate it. Do you know what? I just thought. No, it's not going to let us do it, is it? Hoddesdon's there. Bishop Stortford's there. Is that it? No. Where is... Where's Stansted? So we got the A10 there, so we want to be more over that away. Braintree is way too far. Cambridge is there. Stevenage is over there. Luton is there. I really am having an absolute mental... There's Welling. High Cross. If I... No. Map orientation, right, that might be a bit easier. For El Thicko here to find it. Bishop Dorford, Saffron Walden. So we want to be. God, this map here is so cluttered. Chelmsford. Let's see if we can find Chelmsford. Chelmsford there. Yeah, I was looking way too far north, wasn't I? I think it's going to be. It's not that one. I'm not looking at the chat, but I can almost imagine everyone is in there. Oh, for God's sake! It's over there! There it is. So actually it had got it there, so I'm going to click that. Accept base destination. Back to dispatch. Open on map. And we're returning to base. And we'll get rid of that. Availability status sent correctly, so that's all good, that's all fine. Let's get that back on. Right, looking at the... I think you're sitting too far back, which is messing with your visual perception when landing. Okay, I'm just in. That is the... So if I reset, that is the default sitting position, as far as I'm aware. And you can kind of see it's... makes sense, it's kind of realistic to where it is, and it's using the default zoom as well. Right, let's just have a quick look up here. That's so good because I didn't switch any of that off. Fine with that. Let's have engines to flight. Quick look down there, that's so good. What I am going to do is, we're not going to be using it, but let's what is it? EGSX. Come on. There we go. Right, good to go. Well, I don't know if it's the heat getting to me or the day I've had, but brain is definitely not firing on all cylinders right now. Right, no warnings. We have got a main fuel low, but we know we can see that. So let's just get back. We've got 56 minutes fuel remaining, so we're perfectly safe. Nothing to worry about here. Let's just fly. Watching the obstructions. Wind is ahead. We're going to pop over the top of backup Chinook. Pick up some speed. FPS is horrible.
VTOS. VY.
And we shall now bid London farewell as we head north to North Weald to smooth the FPS. A cup of tea, a Kit Kat and a bacon roll. Alright? I wish. I wish. Now it's interesting that on the tablet over there we've not got a route, which makes me think that something is slightly disconnected from that, but that's okay. So I'm going to we'll have a look at that. So I'm just popped it onto autopilot. We will. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it sent us another dispatch. We are off duty. I don't know why it sent us a dispatch, because we said we're going back home. I'm just thinking that through. So I'm going to just leave that for the time being. So I think what's probably happened now is because it's offering a dispatch, Report injured at peak campsite. Situation unclear. We're going to ignore the dispatch. We're going to fly to North Weald and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully, because I'm not accepting it when we land, that will end the mission. But I have a feeling it feels a little bit like it's ended the mission anyway. Anyone? I think yes, but your field of view is too far back. I think, anyways, but it's all personal preference, really. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. As I say, I've just got it as default, which is, for reference, there we go. So zoom level is 64, which is the default thing. But yeah, I think it can have. I know exactly what you're saying. By the way, it can have a big effect in how near and far different things appear. I totally understand what you're saying. I'm just looking down there at GPS destination. Okay, so it looks like the route is still loaded in. I'm going to recycle the route there, and I'm going to couple the autopilot to the FMS, and let's see if that all works, which it feels like it is. I just realised I got my feet on the pedals. So anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens when we get there. What I'm hoping will happen is that when we land, it will record the fact that we've reached our home base, and then it should come up with a message saying end mission, and then it loads the log file for the missions up to the hype operations center, is what I'm trying to say. Right, let's lock that off. Time for a bit of pilot juice. So we can see fuel has now dropped down to 29 minutes now that we're actually in the air, and got a bit of power on, but that's fine. We'll make it in time, nothing to worry about. Charlie, how you doing? I hope all is good with you. Oh, there we go. Had a bit of a pause there in the proceedings. Let's have a look outside. We haven't had a look outside yet, have we? Let me take that off. Really nice repaint this by Demo Designs. Shocking FPS. Lovely jubbly. Interesting autumnal colours coming from Rex. Certainly a lot browner than it was a couple of weeks ago. So how are we doing? Instruments looking good. Okay, it's trying to send us another dispatch now. Let's have a look. Acute coronary syndrome. This actually, I'm not joking, this actually gets you in a way that there is part of me that thinks, oh, we really should be going out there. We really should be taking this shout and doing something about it. It's so immersive. I mean, Christ, I'm sitting here in a spare room of the house with a computer slowly being cooked by my rig down on the floor with the door shut so I don't bother my my lovely wife. But here I am thinking, oh, should we go and look at the acute coronary syndrome patient and just save their lives? But I'm sure they've scrambled another helicopter. Leper. What are these other aircraft flying you? They are people in the chat. They're people who've joined on, because I'm flying on multiplayer with multiplayer open. There are people who are in the chat. Actually, let me... one ping only. So the H160 is too close for the label to show at the moment. But yeah, we've got Summerly Cloth. Where else we got? That's Ado in the Aidenator in the backup Chinook, which is always very handy to have on these HEMS missions. There was... oh, we had the llama left. Yeah, I don't know, whoever is in the H160, shout out in the chat. Because, yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's Jinx. It's no secret, so I'm going to say it. Jinx there is a developer, and he is working on a very, very nice looking links. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, Leppy. Yeah, you're more than welcome to join along. Normally, if I've got,
miles from our base.
that's good. That's good that he's called out the base. That means that everything's running on track. Yeah, if I have multiplayer open, I usually say in the, you know, in the schedule or whatever. But we'll definitely be in the mountains for next time. Right, let's take it off. Autopilot, check the wind. I'm going to close the
500.
tablet. We'll have a good look at North Weald, probably breaking all sorts of pattern rules and everything, but it's a good chance to have another look at it. It is wonderful. If you didn't catch the beginning, this is Burning Blue Designs' latest release. But we've got our HEMS base. There's also the NPAS base as well if you want to fly police helicopters. That would be quite cool. An action pack police version where you'd have to follow cars or go looking for missing persons and that sort of thing. Okay, let's focus on flying. Wow, wind has seems to have flipped round from what I thought I saw before, so we'll come back over here and we'll come back the other way. The wind isn't particularly strong, but people do get very upset if you try and land with the tailwind. So we'll just come over this way and come back again. Now the FPS still isn't great, so that makes me think there's something else at play. And it could just be the fact that I'm streaming with multiplayer, I don't know. It could just be a, could be server side. That can sometimes happen, but I don't know, I guess everyone else would be seeing the same issues who are flying. There's that lovely Huey. There's Frank. Bonjour Frank. Comme ça va, mi old mucker? Hope you got the bacon rolls in the oven. Why would you put bacon rolls in the oven, you say? Well, because it's actually quite nice, especially if it's kind of like a brioche bun. If you're going to go posh on it, and especially if you add a bit of cheese, then it all goes melty. Right, let's try and... Yeah, you see, this is where it gets tricky. Trying to get centre on the circle, and then as soon as you start looking around, you lose that kind of you lose that balance. So it would have been a lot easier if I just carried on looking forward. It's flying helicopters really is like a form of meditation, and as soon as that focus is broken, then it can suddenly get out of hand. That's not a great landing, and we're right over there on the circle. I don't mind shaming myself. Look at that. Bloody awful. Bloody awful, but at least it's giving the building some air conditioning. But yeah, you can see we were way too close to that. Concentration broken by coming in, looking right, trying to see if I could centre up, and when I looked right, I lost that kind of positioning that I had. But that's something you can practice, and at the end of the day, this is all about I'm definitely no expert. I should have said at the beginning, I don't do this because I want to show you how it's done. This is how it's done, everybody. It's not like that at all.
Mission accomplished. Well done.
Thank you. I wonder if it's going to give me that screen back. Is it going to give me the screen back? I don't think it is. So what? The reason I'm saying that, hopefully at this point we should have a little thing coming up saying congratulations. There we go. This is what I want. So we completed the mission. We completed a total of 2 missions out of 2 accepted dispatches. Blah 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 blah. That's good. In your HEMS pilot career, you've accepted a total of 7 missions out of 17. I've done a lot more than that, so I wonder what point it starts counting at. I wonder if it's the build. In all your missions, a total of 7 patients were alive at hospital. Brilliant. So we'll submit a report. And we'll end mission. There we go. So that's come out of it now. Oh, that is good fun. I do enjoy that. Pretending to be a HEMS pilot is not a bad thing, and worth saying, we have a bit of a laugh on these streams, but a huge amount of respect to the guys and girls that do this in real life. Huge amount of skill. I can't imagine, if you actually stop for a minute and imagine the responsibility of operating a helicopter, knowing that you've got someone in the back that's dying. So you've got to operate the helicopter safely, you've got to look after everyone on board, you've got to navigate some pretty tricky areas potentially, and you've got someone in the back who is dying. It just blows my mind. So as I say, we have a bit of fun and a bit of laugh on these things, but I do have a huge amount of respect for people that do it for real. Right, let's turn that off. Okay, well, quick last check of the chat. Yeah, Jinx has got quite a few Lynx flavoured things going on there, which is pretty cool. Fantastic. Okay, well look, I shall let you get on. Thank you ever so much for joining the stream. It's been huge fun having you along. Thanks to all the guys that came along and brought a helicopter. They can't see the mission assets and all that kind of stuff, but I guess it's kind of like if you imagine a group flight where you don't know where you're going to go. That's kind of what it's about really, and seeing different things, and seeing me do silly things in a helicopter. But it's wonderful to have everyone along, and what a great fun the simulator is. It really is. I can't wait to see what doing missions and things in 2024 is like. I think it's going to be great fun. Anyway, I need to stop waffling. I need to let you get on. As I say, thanks again for joining, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.